to our November regular meeting for the Windom Area School Board. Let's call this meeting to order and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, we have two revisions to tonight's agenda. One is simply removing an item from the consent agenda. There was a row item to approve the hiring of Megan Bergstrom as a 6.5 para effective November 10 of this year. That is no longer in the consent agenda. That's just to be removed. And then we are going to have a quick closed session for the Education Minnesota Windom Teachers Negotiation discussion. So we'll add that as 19A. Any other revisions? Okay. Can we get a motion for the new agenda? Motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor of the new agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion passes. Okay, next up, Jean Fast is going to ask for our approval to host some Friday night activities at school. Take it away, Mrs. Fast.
There we go. Yeah, I guess you guys can see I don't know how to do these. So this is my media maven, Emily Sanzano, made this fly. I don't know how you make these, but we just broke it down. There's a new committee. I think just a little back history. The chamber is no longer affiliated with Riverfest. So we started a brand new committee in August. We've been meeting monthly. So our intention is to consolidate it down to only Friday night, Saturday, and then a little bit on Sunday morning. Get back to, I guess I'd call it retro. We're going to do what we used to do. And the organizations that have always done their activities have all agreed to continue, except for the Sons of Norway. They've kind of aged out, so there won't be that part. So for Friday night, we want to do family fun night, and so I've kind of broke it down. Hy-Vee's going to do the cookout for us. I've been working with the gal at ECFE. Sorry, I'm bad with names. Angie, yeah. And so we're going to do the inflatables. We're hiring the company. They're coming. They're setting it up. They're organizing it. They're taking them down. We just have to have some patrol people to make sure, kids aren't hurting each other, I guess. Get some local entertainment. Leading us up to the fireworks, and so I guess we need permission. Oh, and then we're going to do the color run. Did Emily get? Yeah, the elementary color run, and I've been working with Erin Elders on that. So we'll invite all the kids, kindergarten through 5th grade, to participate. So we could have a couple hundred kids do that. It's cornstarch that they put color in cornstarch. So I did a little investigating. So yeah, we just want to make it a family fun night out at the school. So we would need the parking lot. I think I probably have to get some extra porta potties. I did go out there. There's some picnic tables. Are they always there? There was some there now. So get some picnic tables and porta potties out there. And a majority of the people watch the fireworks from the school anyway. So yeah, and then Saturday, just a little, Fish and Game League is going to do their fishing contest again. Toro sponsors, they're going to do the turtle races again. The firemen are going to do their water fights. The vendors will be downtown. The food booths going into the big parade. And then we're going to have the Saturday night dance out at the pavilion. It's called God Rocks, which is a hairball tribute band. So I guess it's a tribute band to a tribute band. So AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, that's what the music that they play. And then Sunday morning, it's Bark is going to do their pancake breakfast, ecumenical church service, and Cars and Trucks is doing their car show. So that's our festival that we've always had. We didn't add any big major things. Glenn Francis, Al Balloon, and myself have kind of been leading the charge as far as going to get donors. In this world, in any organization, anybody can say no. we've been around long enough, we know which guys can say yes. And so we've been having a lot of success, and so the donors have been coming in, and we're real excited about that. So, yeah. I mean, who could say no to me, right? So, so any questions you guys have about it? I guess we're just asking permission. We did have a meeting, Holly and Jamie and I, and the fireworks hasn't been booked yet. We have to get our money figured out. We are applying for a 501c3, so we don't want to set up our checking account till we get that ironed out. But I understand about the insurance. I did talk to Bank Midwest about we will have an insurance policy, and so we'll get everybody that needs to be as additional named insureds on that. And it's somebody that works with all the groups in town anyway, so yeah. No horses in the parade. They don't like horses. They don't really like inflatables, but we'll be okay, I think, so. And you guys got any questions? All right.
It's just Friday night that you'll be on the school grounds, correct?
Right.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Well, I should say, because the parade lineup is at the back of Wind Fair into the fairgrounds, so that would be for Saturday afternoon for the parade lineup.
In
So-
all exterior, you're not asking to go in the schools at all?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so. No, we don't plan on that. And then we just pray for no rain, so. But you can do a color run in the rain. Oh, yeah. So, and make it a little more fun. Exactly. Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you, by the way, Jean.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but you're doing a great job.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it's big. Yeah. So, and then when you're actually starting from scratch, even though you're not starting from scratch. So, yeah, but it's working out good. So, all right. Thanks.
Okay. We are, yeah.
Jean, you might just want to wait 1 second because they're going to make a motion.
Oh.
And would you mind turning that mic back off? Thank you. Okay, so the motion, or we don't have a motion yet. Is there a motion for this? Okay. And again, this is to approve the Jean's request to have the things on site that she had mentioned on the school grounds. Any other questions or thoughts? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion passes. Thanks for coming in, Jean. Okay, next up is item 5. We get to take a look at our donations. For the backpack program, we have $55 from Bethany Lutheran Church and $383.17 from the American Lutheran Church. We also have 3,000 feet of pine boards for the CTE Industrial Tech Department, valued at $4,500, from Joe Winkowicz. We have $30 from Wells Fargo Community Care Grants on behalf of Stephanie Peterson for the Elementary Student in Need Fund. We have $400 from the Robert and Helen Remick Foundation for Mrs. Letcher to purchase books for her classroom. We also have $20 from Mrs. Vanessa Chetland to the middle school, high school library. $7,500 from James and Corley Kruger for the Kruger Family Scholarship. On a Mustang R8 GT gate trainer valued at $450, an Easy Stand standing frame valued at $900 to be used in the occupational therapy and SMI room from Savita. And we have $140 from the Booster Club for the cheerleading program to purchase megahorns. Do we have a motion? Motion and a second. Awesome. This is a resolution, so we will do a roll call vote. We'll start with Brianne.
Yes.
Bruce.
Yes.
Angie.
Yes.
Barb.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Motion passes. It is good to live in Windom. Thank you, community. Okay. Anyone for open forum?
No one for open forum.
Thank you. Then we will take a look at our revised consent agenda. Do we have a motion? Motion and a second, and being the consent agenda, we aren't going to pull out anything specific, so all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion passes. Okay, Mr. Barfneck, will you kick us off with our administrative reports, starting with the elementary school?
Love it. Thank you. All right. Well, October was a busy month, It didn't seem busy at the time, but looking back on it, holy cow, we were just holding on by our bootstraps. We had activities, and now we're settling back in for a little more structure and routine until Thanksgiving. With that in mind, I just wanted to start out. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been trying to end my reports with people I'm thankful for that work in our district. And I'm going to start it with this month. I'm just thankful for every staff member at the elementary and at the preschool. Everybody steps up to help kids. Everybody's wherever they're needed. People are there. It's the best. Teachers, paras, custodians, cafeteria helpers. They're tying shoes. They're zipping coats. They're whatever's needed. It's done. So I just appreciate every single person at both of those buildings. Grandparents' Day was on October 20th at the elementary. We had grandparents visit from 2 to 3, and they saw classrooms and enjoyed cookies and coffee, which is kind of a big thing as a community builder for us, but it's also a time, like, grandparents don't always get time just to sit down with their grandkids and enjoy that little cookie and cup of coffee or juice or whatever they're having with their kid and just talk about things. I had a lot of grandparents tell me that they liked seeing the places where the grandkids talk about. They like seeing the classroom that their kids talk about, their teacher, meeting some of their friends that they hear stories about, but they don't know it. This was a great opportunity for that. So it just does help to continue our strong history of partnership with the families that we work with. We had our first quarter Kiwanis Terrific Kids program on October 27 and 28, recognizing students who demonstrate Eagle Pride every day, or almost every day. Each classroom teacher in 1st through 4th grade nominates one student each quarter to receive an award, and they just share some highlights about their school year and say what, their favorite books and what their favorite subject is. So just want to put a shout out to the Kiwanis Club for helping to recognize the positive impact of our students and just recognize being good citizens. We also, on October 30th, had a visit from Miss Teen Rodeo, Minnesota, Ella Smith. Ella's a 2024 graduate from Windom Area High School. And yeah, she is Miss Teen Rodeo, Minnesota, so she met with each grade level and spoke about overcoming obstacles and working hard to accomplish your goals. She also showed some rodeo gear. You can see in the back of that picture, she's got one of her saddles there, and see her fancy hat. Man, if you saw her belt buckle, it's pretty big and shiny. So the students love the message, they love the experience, and it's great to have a Windom graduate come in and do something like this. In other school business, our elementary teachers have been working with small groups of students during Eagle Time. Students have been grouped by academic need, and then the teachers, including classroom teachers, intervention, special ed, EL, they're all working with groups to fill educational gaps. And so the way our Eagle Time works is students are grouped by what they need, and someone is in charge of teaching those skills. It might start with basics like letter names and sounds. There might be groups that are putting those sounds together to, start blending those and then reading the words correctly, and then they work on reading them more quickly and having fluency. And eventually we get to kids who have some reading comprehension. So that is going well at the elementary, already seeing some good growth. And finally, in October, Bridges completed their fall session of preschool screenings. Preschool screening is a requirement for any student who's entering kindergarten or 1st grade, but it also helps us with early identification of any student needs that we might have come up, so we can be prepared and get the best possible start to these kids. This team screened 49 students when they had that, and it was fantastic. They had a number of new people helping out. They've streamlined the process. The team at Bridges does a fantastic job of this. I just get to sit back and say, what do you need? And they say, just supervise. And I say, yes, thank you. What questions do you have about the preschool or the elementary? All right, thank you.
Excellent report. Thank you. Okay, for the middle school report, Mr. Nielsen.
Let me turn that on. There we go. All right. Hey, as you know, quarter 1 concluded on October 31st. We had a half day that day. Teachers got grades in, everything. We've been looking at some academic data to help guide instruction and definitely some supports for students as we enter quarter two. I had the opportunity to review Eagle expectations with all middle school students. Again, can't thank Fine Arts Department enough. 6th through 8th grade. I meet with all of 6th grade, all of 7th grade, all of 8th grade during their music times and in the choir room, and it works really, really great just to review some of the expectations. We also highlighted some other things to put an emphasis on, things that we've been seeing as staff in the first quarter for those students to talk about. One of them being paper darts in the ceiling. They're good at that, but we reviewed that really that's considered vandalism, a waste of paper and Post-its and things like that, and very receptive to that. I had nice little pictures of some examples in our ceiling, and I think we're on the right track now. So that was good to review all of those things and something brand new for us here in the middle school with 5th through 8th graders. Anyway, parent-teacher conferences took place November 6th and November 7th. That went over well at the middle school. There were a handful of parents. It's not like overwhelming back in my elementary days. I'm sure what they see, but it was good. It was good to see some families in the building. I had an opportunity just to kind of sit out front and greet actually for a little while there at times if I wasn't in a meeting or something, and it was perfect just to chat with people as they were coming in and come up and talk about their kids. And I even had a few PE conferences of teaching 6th grade Phi Ed, so that was actually nice. They signed up. I had 3 out of my 32. Not bad, all right? So anyway, fall assessment update. We have wrapped up with that fall assessment window here in October. We had a number of students that did very, very well, as we'll share eventually on some of our fall reading and math. And we also had some students that weren't quite achieving where they should be, so they took the CAPT test for the first time for reading. So now we have been getting just a little bit of training on that and how to read the data, and we are finding that it is very, very good data. And we have a few people, especially intervention, special education, that are just jumping right in and adjusting the needs of our students based on this CAPT data to get these students reading at grade level. And we've got some other things coming down the pipe here as we go in November too, to help all of, I'll speak for Mr. Joyce too, 5th through 12th grade with the students that took that CAPT test and the information that we ended up getting from it. So it's very, very good. Teacher evaluations wrapped up cycle 1 with probationary teachers. Very busy with probationary teachers. Just want you to know, we go into classrooms and it's magical. There are a number of great teachers, as we talk about every single time that we're here at these. It's neat. It's one of my favorite parts of being a principal is going into all the classrooms and seeing all of the hard work and then sharing, like, well, I saw this person doing this when I meet with another teacher after we get to watch them teach and go over a few things. But that first round has wrapped up, almost wrapping up. We have a few of our tenured teachers that in the middle school that I'll be watching too, and that wraps up here coming up towards the end of November. On to cycle 2. Cycle 2 ones are coming in here. As you know, non-tenured teachers, we watch them teach 3 times, and then also might have a peer engagement coach watching, things like that, just to help them. So it's going very, very well. School Psych Week, November 3rd through the 7th. Want to thank Lisa Lundy, our primary school psychologist I put on there because Amanda is also a school psych. Colin Wilson, he is also in our school as a teacher, but he's a school psych. Thank you very much to those school psychologists. They mean a lot to us. Middle school Baker Square Pie fundraiser, that wrapped up. We went back to online sales only to give it a shot. We are down just a little bit from last year's numbers. I'd say a little bit due to the online sales, but we wanted to try that. It sure keeps things organized very well. I'm not chasing kids around like, hey, there wasn't a check for this. So when that pickup comes that last Tuesday before Thanksgiving in November, we should be fairly set here. But so that ended. We pushed that out numerous times, as maybe you saw on Facebook. Also some Thrill Share messages that went home to families. It was in the paper, Shopper, Citizen, we put it in there. But so yeah, a little bit of enrichment funds for the middle school for certain things. A lot of times too, even some playground things, just things that they can use in the middle school. We have those funds available for. American Education Week coming up November 17th through the 21st. Look forward to recognizing and celebrating all the work of our staff, our students, families. This is everybody that contributes to education in the United States of America. Then again, Thanksgiving break, November 27th through the 28th. Be looking forward to that. That comes up quick, and it's crazy that we come right back and we're to December. We are to December right after Thanksgiving, and we have awesome holiday dress days for every day in December at the middle school, high school. So that'll be fun for students and staff. We're going to celebrate. We're going to be spreading holiday cheer and smiling and all of those great things. So, and then, yay, sixth grade right there, outdoor classroom in the environmental center. We have taken advantage of that a couple times this fall with those sixth graders. I have 32 in that class. It's incredible. Those kids are so much fun to have in class. Like, it's a little bit exciting to actually go and teach those students every single day and connect with them a little bit more than just the hallway interaction as a principal and seeing them. But it's pretty amazing. They're a great group of kids. But yeah, that was the outdoor classroom there that sixth grade PE was utilizing. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nielsen. Any questions? Okay, great report. Thank you. All right, on to the high school report. Mr. Joyce.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Before I begin, I just added something to my own update, but Mr. Barfnick made me remind of this or remember this, but we had Jostens in to work with our sophomores to order class rings. And we realized that for the last couple of years, we hadn't had Jostens in. So our juniors and seniors are saying, hey, what about us? So we're finding some information to get to our juniors and seniors. So if they want to order a class ring, they certainly can. Honestly, it was something where they didn't even contact us. It was kind of a weird deal, and we're like, well, maybe we didn't offer that. So anyways, the reason that Mr. Barfing reminded me of it because they now offer belt buckles. So in lieu of a class ring, you can get a class belt buckle and commemorate your graduation year with a belt buckle. So I thought that was kind of a neat offering, and they're just trying to stay relevant, and offer to folks. So it's kind of neat to see the belt buckles that they offer. So can begin looking for your student's class of whatever belt buckle coming up. So just as we start here, CEO update, the class presented to us last week, and they've got a business idea, 12 strategies. They want to work on some marketing, help local companies branch out and kind of get into mass media, social media, any type of marketing that they can do to help promote businesses locally. They're hoping to sell some packages that companies can buy that the students will then create, but they're really well spoken. They've really broken apart parts within their business to students based on skill set, and we're excited to see where that develops to. So we've got a little bit of a rollover on our board. A couple of folks have taken on, one took on a new position, one's term expired, so we're welcoming some new folks, but thankfully we've been very fortunate to be able to replace those. Right now we're just awaiting the chamber's hire for a replacement there for the chamber director position. So and then as we think about 26-27, CEO will be offering out applications pretty soon for students to apply to join the class. But also kind of exciting, we're having some preliminary talks about expanding CEO to Heron Lake Okabena. And they visited our group here and seemed very receptive and are very excited to potentially join our Cottonwood Jackson CEO. It's not a done deal yet. But we're excited about the prospect of Heron Lake Okabena joining Jackson County Central, Mountain Lake, and Windom schools for Cottonwood Jackson CEO. So more news hopefully to come on that. So we've got our Veterans Day program tomorrow. Hopefully everybody is able to join for that. It starts at 9:30 in the Nest. Graduation and Veterans Day are the two biggest events we host every year in our gym, and it's always a great event. We're working with the Legion, Post 206, Commander Dave Corey. They've been phenomenal to work with always, and no short of that this year. So we're excited to have Steve Chernus, retired superintendent from Westbrook Walnut Grove Schools, naval veteran, 4.5 years. He's going to be our keynote speaker tomorrow. So a lot of folks locally know Mr. Chernus, and we're excited to hear him speak. And it's always great to have our students perform for such a great audience, and to have K through 12 or 1 through 12 together performing through the choir, and then our mass bands performing. It's always a great event. So hopefully everybody can join us for that. As Mr. Nielsen stated, CAPTI testing, we're implementing that. We're just about through the high school and getting all those students tested that needed to test based on STAR. If you score below, at least one grade level below your grade level, that kind of flags you to take that CAPTI test. And we decided that locally, that if you were one grade level behind according to our STAR test, which we've taken annually for a number of years, that we would then implement the CAPTI test to see, are there other things going on that we need to be aware of, and other implementation devices or interventions that we could be doing to help out our students to make sure that they're learning. And reading is the big piece here. So it really dives into root causes of reading difficulties, morphology and morphemes, phonics or phonemic awareness, all of those things that the science of reading is telling us is extraordinarily important, and exposing some of those skill deficit areas so our teachers can dive in on those very specific skill deficit areas and implement strategies to help students learn. Because most learning difficulties in the high school, when we get to them, it's based on learning gaps that exist, and then you see the other things happen because of that. So it's been great to look at the data so far, and our teachers are diving in, and we're scratching the surface, but we're excited with what we've seen so far. Our NHS inducted its new members on the 27th. We do have, I believe, one person was missing from that picture, but otherwise, I believe everybody is in that picture, and that was the one that was taken before our FFA had to leave to go to nationals. So they kind of took a picture, started induction, and a few of them had to leave. But that's always a great event, honoring some of the best students from service, character, and integrity in our school. So we had a great fall season. Just honestly, a really exciting fall season. And I don't feel that we measure success in high school sports based on trophies in the trophy case. That's great. Those are great things. But the success to me comes from the great experiences that our students are having. And Mr. Johnson talked about last week at the rules eligibility meeting about the great experiences that you'll be talking about for years to come. And I have no doubt that our students will be talking about the experiences they had in the fall of 2025, regardless of the grade level that they're in, for some time to come. And we did not put trophies in the trophy case, but that doesn't matter. Those things will come. It's the transformative experiences that our students had that are really are paramount at Windom area schools. And Mr. Johnson, Jacob Johnson, does an awesome job leading our activities, and he should be given some kudos for that, because it really was a fantastic fall season. And I also want to thank Leah Smith. We've got her kind of doing an independent study for media creation this fall. She kind of went in and wants to do that in her future endeavors. And she did that for a CEO business actually last year. And she just has a great talent for it. She picked up a camera one day, started taking pictures, and realized, I kind of enjoy this. And now she's creating all sorts of great content. So a lot of the graphics that you might see on our social media page, or if you stop into school and see our video advertising, our screen advertising, a lot of it's probably created by Leah. She just has a great eye for that and does a fantastic job promoting our students and the activities that they're in. So if you see her, tell her great job on a lot of the work that she did in the fall. She's going to continue that here in the winter and spring as well. So we're starting the process of scheduling, believe it or not, for 26, 27. I know it seems crazy, but Christmas season, it's also the registration season for next year. So here we go. This week, we've got Grease coming up. We're really excited to see the students perform Grease this weekend. And then the Fall Band Showcase, just want to plug in for that for November 24th. So 2 weeks away from that. Any questions for anything high school related? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Joyce. Very informative. For this special education report, Mrs. Wilson.
Hello. As Mr. B already shared, we had our early childhood screenings done in the past month. We screened 49 students between the ages of 3 and 5. Of those, we found 8 that we were able to refer on for some additional supports to help start building up developmental milestones and things like that, whether that was through our district or different community agencies that can also provide those supports. So we've got 8 kiddos who have been hooked up with services to get them building skills. And then in addition to that, we've got another 8 that we identified who are kind of on the cusp. There are things that they're doing well with, there are things that they're having a hard time with, and it's just something we need to keep an eye on. So we've got plans in place with their families on how we're going to continue to follow up on that and just make sure that skills are developing the way that they need to. And if there's ever a concern, we're there to look into it more and see what help we can offer. So our team did an amazing job with that. Like Mr. B said, it's always fun when we have those early childhood screenings, and I was happy to see how they came out this year. As Mr. Nielsen said, last week was School Psychology Week across the nation, and I might be a little bit biased, but I happen to think that school psychologists tend to be pretty awesome people, and we're very grateful for Lisa and Colin, who we have working in our district. They do an amazing job with the different things that they do. Last month, I attended the State Special Education Administrators Association Conference. They actually have 2 each year. This one really focused on legal things and regulations and those sorts of things. So I heard a lot about statutory requirements on discipline of special education students. A lot of updates on things related to service animals in schools. And then they also talked about strategies for strengthening school culture and things to do to kind of build up morale and those sorts of things. And one of the sessions was called Stop Complaining in the Workplace. So that one got a lot of positive feedback. One thing they really highlighted there, we talked a little bit last month about changes at the federal oversight offices for special education programs. And at this conference, they, bringing together all of the people who represent the different special education agencies, they really hit hard what those changes are and how they're affecting special education right now. So the Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services is the federal department that it oversees both special education in schools and rehabilitative services for adults with disabilities. And with the layoffs that happened in October, there is a much smaller workforce that is overseeing both of those programs. And so with those reductions, they're anticipating that there's going to be a lot more delays in the technical assistance we get, the different types of guidance when there are questions about things that come up. They've also mentioned delays in processing of grant funds. Right now, with special education IDEA funds coming from the federal government, though that is a grant, and those funds have been dispersed for this fiscal year, but they have talked that with the changes to the staffing of that department, it could take longer to process future payments. So that's something we're going to want to be mindful of. Looking ahead, state monitoring of our district's special education records should be wrapping up in the next couple of weeks, and we're looking forward to hearing results and using that information to strengthen our processes. We've started hearing a little bit about things that we can start working on right now that will help us just do better, because there's always room for growth. And the last thing I have in my report this month is actually a request for you guys. Something that I have started learning about just in the past couple of weeks is the Minnesota Blue Ribbon Commission on Special Education. That is a commission that was established just recently, and the goal is to identify $250 million to reduce in special education funding for the state as a whole. The goal of it is to operate things more efficiently, which is fantastic. They've mentioned less paperwork, which I think our teachers will cheer for. But they're also talking about finding a way to take $250 million out of the budget without reducing any of the obligations that school districts have to provide services that provide the free and appropriate public education to students that is required by IDEA. My concern with this is, we've got changes to make. Absolutely, we will make changes. The thing that I would like to ask you, as you are seeing emails come out and going to the different conferences that board members and principals and community members and people go to, there are 16 people on this commission, and 2 of them represent rural areas in Minnesota. We have Melanie Cray, who is the new executive director at the SWWC Services Cooperative, representing this area, and there is one person who comes from over by Albert Lee. Everybody else is from the metro area or bigger districts like Rochester. And so when we see those messages come out looking for survey responses, information about how things are going, what thoughts on different ideas and proposals that the commission has are, it is really, really, really important that they hear from people like us who are working in such extremely rural areas, because special education here is very, very different than special education in the Twin Cities. Our goals are the same, but the resources that are available outside of schools in the metro area is so different than what we have here that it's very important that we communicate when we're seeing those things come out. So if you could please watch for things that say Minnesota Blue Ribbon Commission on Special Education, I would really appreciate that. What questions do people have for me?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good report. We'll definitely keep our eyes open. We appreciate the heads up. Good explanation. Okay, next up is the superintendent report. Mrs. Frank.
All right, good evening, board members. November 1st enrollment came in at 1,136 K-12 students. This is up by 7 students from 1 month ago. So we continue to enroll every day, it seems like, so this is good news. All right, the district office is preparing for the Minnesota paid leave statute that goes into effect on January 1st, 2026. We'll be notifying staff via DocuSign. Part of the requirement is that all staff are aware of what's involved with the Minnesota paid leave and the procedures that it takes to access this new statute. We created a procedure in our employee handbook that will be going out to employees very soon. The district also decided to split 50-50 on the payroll tax. That is a right that the district has to do so. And then also we're going to allow our employees to top off. So what that means is if Minnesota paid leave covers 55% of their daily rate of pay, for example, then they can use sick leave to cover the other 45%, make them whole. All right, cross country, our boys placed 9th at the state tournament. They actually tied for 8th, which was pretty darn cool. They had a great time, and we're really proud of them. Because they tied for 8th place, the judges then look at the 6th and 7th runners. Is that how it goes? 6th and 7th? Yes. And anyway, it was real close. we almost earned 8th place, but officially 9th place, but they did a great job. All right, tonight the board will call for an election for February 10th for the facilities project. Krause Anderson has been working really hard on the brochure, so their marketing team will be sending out another edit of that very soon, so be watching for that. And then lastly, the Vision Committee will be meeting with First Children's Finance a week from today, so next Monday, and we'll be discussing creating a sustainable daycare center. There's 5 meetings scheduled, which is their entire process, and we're going to go through it pretty quickly here. Usually it takes 9 months. We're going to take a couple months. So we'll be through that fairly fast so that we can get a plan in place for a daycare. All right, any questions?
That's fantastic. Thank you, Mrs. Frank. Okay, anything special from the Board of Education tonight that isn't covered under our normal items? Couldn't think of anything, but okay. Then we get to move on tonight. Item number 14, Mrs. Frank is going to lead us in approving or giving us some information so that we can take a look at approving the administrator's seniority list.
It is just that time of year to approve seniority lists. So the principals have had a chance to look through the seniority list. They gave any feedback if something was off, and now it's your turn to approve the principal's seniority list.
Okay, and it is included in the board packet. Do we have a motion to move this forward?
I move approval.
Second.
Thank you. Motion and a second. Are there any questions on this? Pretty straightforward. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion passes. Next is the teacher seniority list. Mrs. Frank.
All right, the teacher seniority list has been sent out to the teachers. They've reviewed it, and again, it is simply ready for your approval tonight.
Do we have a motion?
Move approval. Second.
Thank you. Motion and a second. Again, this has been in our board packet for review. It's really fun to see all these years of service. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion passes. Next, we get to talk about approving a junior high wrestling coach, which is kind of exciting. Will you tell us about that, Mrs. Frank?
I would love to. So we approved Butterfield Odin joining our co-op, I don't know, a few meetings ago. I can't remember, 2-3 meetings ago. We anticipated one, maybe two wrestlers joining us, but it turns out there were 5 wrestlers from Butterfield Odin that decided to join us, 14 from Mountain Lake, and then we have 34. This is the highest number that the wrestling program has seen in a very long time. So this is all good news. They have requested an additional junior high coach. Jacob is recommending that as the athletic director. This makes sense to me and it sounds very reasonable. So that is what's in your agenda. We have 53 athletes in the wrestling program, grades 7 through 12, about 20 more students than last year. All right, the salary for this is already set. It's in Appendix B of the contract. So that's already set for us.
Okay, is there interest in moving this forward? Great, thank you. Any questions or comments? I know it was listed in the board packet, but we'll share this cost appropriately based on enrollment between us, Mountain Lake, and Butterfield Odin. And I think we all have known for a long time, we have a pretty stellar team leading those wrestlers, and it's just a really good culture there. And it goes to what Mr. Joyce was saying earlier about how Jacob outlines our athletic programs just are built really solid. So this is definitely not a surprise. And yeah, it's glad to see it. So any other thoughts or comments? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion passes. Okay, item number 17 is very related to item number 16. We have some needs at our district, and we're still continuing to move forward in resolving that. And so this is just another step along a very regimented process to get there. So tonight we're looking at setting the election date for February 10th of next year. And you're all very familiar with this process. And so the ballot language and the things that we're looking at doing, which we'll very, very soon be bringing forward to the community, has been included in the board packet. So tonight's resolution is just to set the election day, which we've, as you're all aware, selected February 10 of 2026. Do we first have a motion to move that forward? Excellent. Any thoughts, questions, comments before we vote? No, this is a simple step in a big process. So this is a resolution, so we will do a roll call vote. Starting with Barb,
Yes.
Angie,
Yes.
Bruce,
Yes.
Brianne, Matt, myself, yes. Motion passes. Got myself a little confused there, sorry. Okay, item number 18 is to approve the census report. Mrs. Frank, will you tell us what we're looking at?
Sure. The census report is calculated in November every year and submitted to MDE. For the past few years, we've been using an average method. And the average method simply, or an average calculation, I'm sorry, it takes the number of 5-year-olds in the district as of October 1st for the last 5 years and divides it by 5, right? Just what average is. And then that data is submitted to MDE. The report is in your packet for you to take a look at. Heather Van Dyke puts this together for us. She is our Mars coordinator and has access to this sort of data. So it is just ready for your approval tonight.
Great. And again, it's always fun to see numbers kind of rounding up and turning corners, so that was a fun report to read. Is there a motion to move this forward?
Move approval?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions on the report or for Mrs. Frank? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion passes. Okay, any other items for the board this evening? Okay, if not, we will adjourn here in a moment, but then after, we're going to do that item 19A, which is to discuss in closed session how negotiations are going with the teachers. And so we will do that, and we will only do that, and then we will return to adjourn. So thank you, everyone, for coming. Have a good evening.